Good morning, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Welcome to the second Freedom Player Summit. Woo! And hello to all you guys out there in Ustream land. I know you can't really see me very well. I'm that little bluish hat above somebody's head. I'm watching right now along with you guys, so just so we can see ourselves on camera, you know, because that's not going to make us self-conscious at all. Alrighty, so before we get into the meat of things, I do want to cover a couple of little things. Does everybody have their swag bag? Yep. Okay, so if you open up your swag bag, you should see some note cards in there on a fancy higher stock than just regular paper, because we actually remembered to print these out of the printer this time. So feel free to fill those questions out in advance. We actually will collect some of those in advance, such as the Design a Power Set workshop and whatnot, so that the designers can actually go through them ahead of time. The idea is we want to make sure that we get to as much stuff as possible. Laptop sleep. Anyway. Also, if you checked in last night, make sure please that you got your drink ticket, your raffle tickets, and your food ticket from the ladies up front, the ladies and gentlemen up front, excuse me. If you did not, we're going to have breaks in between each session, so you can pick it up during that time as well. And then, of course, last but not least, last year, how many of you guys came last year, last November? Yeah? Awesome. Huge number of you. That's awesome. So last year, you may remember we had a paper survey we had you guys fill out at the end. We have advanced technologically, and we're doing one actually online. So in between each break, you should be able to fill out the surveys in between each break. And so there's only like 6 stations. So don't all mad rush or stand in line or anything. Just fill one out as you can. If you don't get to fill it out today, don't worry. We're actually going to post these surveys online for the entire community to take after the completion of the summit. So all you guys listening out there in Ustreamland, keep an eye out on the forums and probably on Facebook or something like that to take the survey later as well. And by the way, these surveys are extremely helpful to us. They really help us to help make some great decisions regarding the future of City of Heroes. So, anyways, all right, let's get it started. Yeah! All right. Obviously, we haven't had a lot of caffeine, so I'm gonna do a really happening thing. We're gonna wake it up. So let's try that again. How excited are you guys to be here today? That's more like it. Awesome. Freaking excited? Outstanding. All right, well, once again, welcome to the Freedom Player Summit 2012. My name is Andy Belford, aka Zwillinger. I am the community manager for Paragon Studios, and of course, the world's best superheroic MMORPG in the world, City of Heroes Freedom. Yes, absolutely. That's why we're all here today. So really quickly, before we get rolling, I'm going to introduce the panelists that we've got over here for the keynote. Starting at the very far end of the table, the esteemed Vice President of Business and Serious Stuff, Ross, Giant Monster Borden. Alrighty, next to Ross, to his immediate right, we have the guy that I'm shocked is not wearing a Sharks hat today, but that's okay. Our studio general manager, our fearless leader, Brian Crosscheck Clayton.
Is this mic working? Thanks for rubbing in the fact that the Sharks are no longer in the playoffs. That was Please continue.
That's the game that's played on ice, right? Oh, just kidding. Alrighty, to Brian's right, we have the one and only, the man with the master plan, the storyteller and lore keeper for City of Heroes Freedom, John Protean Hegner. Watch out, he's going to ambush you. To John's right, you know her, you love her. She mercilessly dispatched second measure so she could take his job. Melissa Warwitch Bianco. And then, of course, the man that, whoa, did I Okay, sorry. So I thought I hit something there. The man who has been at the helm of designing City of Heroes for quite a long time and has brought you many of your favorite features, and I think he's the only guy to have a two-part task forcing game too. How's that work, man?
Ask McCann.
Ask McCann. All right. So we have the one and only Matt Positron Miller. All right, so you guys came last year, right? And we had a ton of cool reveals and awesome information and stuff. How many of you are excited to find out some new reveals today? Yeah. So we're definitely going to have some new reveals today, and that's going to be covered during the keynote. But what I really want to hone in on, and I really want to set up for the rest of the day, is the overall just the tone and the focus of the Player Summit. So last year, we had some amazing panels, but we really felt like the most amazing panel that we had was the Design a Costume Set Workshop. How many of you guys participated in that? Just a show of hands. Awesome. How many of you guys enjoyed it? So during that costume set workshop, Dave drew some funny heads and stuff like that. But what came of it is actually what you're seeing right here for the first time ever is some completed work, well, staged screenshots of the retro sci-fi set, which you guys have been involved with from conception to concept, and then our great character artist Cheryl Dink has taken you all, walked you all the way through the design and the production of the costume set. And we're really happy to be able to show you this, the finished product, and that should be available this summer to you as well. And we'll have more about that later on. And let me tell you, from everybody who was involved, this definitely was a labor of love. We really enjoyed this process. And so, since we really enjoyed this process so much, let's talk about what we're going to do today. We're going to have a schedule going on. Obviously, keynote and welcome, and then we have the Paragon, should actually be the Paragon Market panel, not the marketing panel. Freudian slip. The TV. Yes, Black Pebble's actually got a bunch of spreadsheets and graphs.
You'll love it.
You'll love it. He's actually super excited about it. He can't wait to tell you. You think I'm kidding. All right. And obviously we're going to be taking some time to ask you questions during that panel, of course. But at 1:15 after lunch, we're going to kick off the first ever Design a Power Set workshop, where we talk to you guys and design a power set with you, and if everybody likes it enough, and by everybody, of course, I mean us and you guys, maybe it'll make its way into the game. At 2:45, we're going to repeat the oh-so-popular Design a Costume Set workshop. And then at 4:15, I'm actually super excited about this one. We have the first ever of this type of a panel, Make Your Case, where you guys get to pitch your ideas for zone revamp. Ooh, and you should have the card in your bag for each of these. So, as you can see, and then of course we have story and endgame panel at the very last panel of the day. Cocktails, which everybody should have gotten a drink ticket. Try the Mai Tais, they're fabulous. Yeah, you may not want to try them too much. Dinner party, dinner, raffle, karaoke, after party, after party, after party. Yes, you may want to go ahead and arrange for flight back from Mexico. Just saying. That's the last man standing, yeah. All right, guys. So I think I've chatted enough. Do I have anything else on there? I don't think so. So I'll tell you what. Without further ado, to give you guys an update about Paragon Studios in general, our fearless leader, once again, Brian Crosscheck Clayton.
All right, I did take a few notes, but I want to make sure we can get to the after party on time, and so I won't take too long. Hey, it's absolutely a privilege and honor to be here with you guys. You know, every time we get to do a meet and greet or these new summit formats, I'm amazed at the support and the response and the value that the team gets out of this, and hopefully that you guys get out of this. Today's a really special day. It's not often that we actually get to really get up in front of you guys on an anniversary day for City of Heroes. And so, you know, how amazing is it that we're about to go into our 9th year of City of Heroes, and I'd just love to hear a round of applause for all of you and the devs who've made this. Yeah, sorry, the team ate the birthday cake yesterday, but I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I can arrange another one. I'm here to talk to you guys really about the state of the studio overall, because you know, without great people, we don't have a great product, and we don't have a great community, and we don't have a great service. And I'm proud to say that you know, every year that I've been a part of City of Heroes, the team and the product has gotten stronger and stronger, and really within these last couple of years, you know, we've made incredible strides. You know, we're never satisfied, you know, with where we are in terms of you know, the efficiency or the process or the things that we're bringing to the table. We're always working harder and harder to keep doing things in a more amazing way. And this year in particular, you know, we've really asked a number of our folks to really kind of step up and take on some larger roles. You know, on the art side, you know, we've got you know, Eric Chin and Bill Balzer, who've done an amazing job these last few months, really shepherding the art team and doing a lot of the amazing things that you're going to see here in the keynote. We've of course got Matt Miller continuing to anchor things on the design front, and has an incredible group working for him. And we actually have a few new blokes in the studio. We've got Rob Anderberg. Rob, you guys probably haven't met him. Rob in the back there is our new tech director, who's been with us for a few months. Rob has been an amazing addition to the team and brings a lot of history with him. He's learned a lot of what to do, and even a few things of what not to do. And so we're looking forward to all the great things he's bringing to the engineering team, and really rounding out the leadership team of City of Heroes very nicely. When we last met 5 months ago, you know, it was all about freedom and the launch, and now it's about you know, what can we do to continue a really strong and direct relationship with you guys. And certainly these summits are one key way to do that. And I really want to thank Andy and the community team for bringing this opportunity to the forefront and allowing us to engage with you guys on this level. Really excited about continuing to do this. And you know, I would say you know, one of the really cool things that we were able to do is that we implemented a new policy this year. And that policy is that you know, if you've been on City of Heroes 10 years, you get to become the producer. And so I think we all owe Melissa a huge congratulations on being.
At 20, I've taken your job.
Well, yeah, that's 15 years. But I know you can do it, girl. So, and Matt, you better run for the hills, because I think you're the next in 10 years.
Does that work for players too?
You know what? We should talk about that. You know that that's worked really well for Eve. So anyway, I love Eve. I really do. And I love CCP. In fact, Rod back there can tell you how great CCP is, and you know, I'm looking forward to Dust. All right. Okay. Anyway, frankly, you know, one last thing. In all seriousness, you guys have absolutely been amazing, and I personally want to thank you for all your support all these years, and going well into our 9th year, which I expect to be another amazing year. A huge round of applause for all you guys. You guys have made City of Heroes freaking fantastic. Thank you. I guess I should introduce the next guy. I don't know if you guys know how this guy got his nickname, but he's all about giant monsters, and I think you guys saw that in the new player experience. We hope to have more giant monsters in the future. Please let me introduce Ross Giant Monster Borden.
Thank you, Brian. I think I'm going to have to... Yeah. Check, check. There we go. Thank you, Brian. Okay, great. Perfect. You know, you guys probably haven't seen much of me, relatively speaking, but I actually have been here for 7 years. I've just been sort of more behind the scenes, and you know, I wanted to say a few things about last year, because last year was just amazing from a studio standpoint as we prepared City of Heroes Freedom. My earliest memories are when I came in, Brian kind of recruited me in, and that was 7 or so years ago. We were getting ready to prepare for City of Villains. And I had to dive right in there. If you guys remember, we had hero clicks in the box, and I found out immediately, oh yeah, we better make those City Villains boxes a little bit bigger because the hero clicks won't fit. And oh yeah, so I guess we won't be able to put our normal amount of boxes in a larger crate. And we had a few issues to sort out from the very, very beginning. But you know what? It was really, really fun back there in the old days as well. And so to think that we are now 7 years ahead is unbelievable to me. Last year, as I said, we had a major initiative around freedom and changing everything we were doing, and our goal always was to make sure that with freedom we provided more value to you, the players, with this change. I mean, we really, that was our mantra, and that is our mantra moving forward. And it was a fantastic success for us, and we really owe that to you guys, our players. We got a lot of feedback from you guys along the way, and so, of course, last time here, we had just launched. Here we are now, 7 months post-launch. Things are going really, really well for City of Heroes, for the service, and so thank you very much. Now, one of the things that we introduced with Freedom was the Paragon Rewards program. I think you guys probably know about this program. If you don't, you might have a few things waiting for you. But here it's kind of fun. We get to tell you about our next Tier 9 VIP costume set, and that is the Mecha Armor costume set coming for Tier 9. So there it is. Take a look. We hope, I can tell you from a studio standpoint, we are really, really, really excited about this, and we hope that you guys are as well. And so this is going to be coming along with issue 23. You can see some screenshots along the way. Make sounds like all right, excellent. And finally, this one, I think this is the last one. No, this is the last one. But there was this other thing that we announced last time at this event called Super Packs. And this was really, really interesting because
so politically correct. Nice.
We saw that you guys had a few concerns around Super Packs. One or two concerns. And so we went, we're always trying to figure out, what's the difference between what people say they want, what they think they want, what they actually, what they're actually going to do. We want to strike the right balance between, between something that, we really believed that this could be something that people would actually, have fun interacting with and this sort of thing. And we knew we had to get our formula right, and you guys had a lot of input, actually. We had priced, we didn't know what we were going to sell these things for. And so those sort of 4 or so months between the time that we announced this concept to you guys and when we actually rolled these out in February, we learned a lot from you guys. We learned a lot. We did a lot of work, and we were thrilled actually to see in the end how these things performed for us. And we feel like we really hope that our kind of transparency with you guys along the way and our back and forth really helped in this process. But we can tell you from a success standpoint, you may have seen the note that Brian posted yesterday. We have, what's the stat we use? We are significantly more than 3 million individual cards have been claimed. So whether claimed through the rewards program or purchased through the store. This is, it's amazing. It's amazing, and we're telling you, we're giving you the 3 million number because we know you can't figure out what that means in terms of how many actual packs they claim. But it's fun to talk Millions. So this really was a huge success for us, and you know, and so naturally we want to move to the next one at some point. And so we are going to be bringing Super PAC 2 to you guys, Rogues and Vigilantes, and we're going to be able to share more details about that in the Paragon Market Panel moving forward. But we really are happy. We like to see, you know, when we're introducing items to the store and to the service, we like to see, you know, we like to see big successes, and this was really, really fantastic for us. And so we went through a process, but we got there, and we hope that you guys are happy with where we are at this point. And we're excited to move this forward. Oh yeah, this is a preview of a mystery costume set that might be coming. Anyways, moving on. Wait a minute. That's right. Nate, I'm sorry. I thought you were.
I got better.
Okay. Nate is working on another very exciting project. So let's pass it on to our new producer. You gonna do it from here?
Sit.
Okay. How many of you guys knew the Warwick was a fire tank?
Yeah, so I can thank Matt Miller for inspiring that for the Prezi presentation. I pretty much know that every time he does one of these, I'm going to get thrown under the bus in some way. Yeah.
You can make the presentations if you want.
We're like a family at Paragon. He's like the little brother I never wanted. Anyway. So, yeah, producer. I mean, like when I started at the... Oh, crap. No! So when I started at the studio 10 years ago as an office manager, I had kind of like a really a lofty goal. And does anyone want to guess what that is? No, never mind. Rhetorical. We're in a time crunch. I'm a producer. Anywho, so my goal was I really wanted my name in the credits in some way, and I was hoping. What?
Talk louder.
Talk louder?
Thank you.
All right. So I really wanted my name in the credits, even as an admin, and I thought, oh, wouldn't that be just so great? You know, I came in as a gamer. I got to hang out with developers. It was really exciting. And then 10 years later, I don't know how it happened. It just blows my mind.
You got the keys to the car.
I got the keys to the car, man. It's so surreal, I can't even tell you. And anyways, enough about me. Although I could talk about myself all day. I want to talk about what the development team is doing. And now that I've moved into kind of a more of a production role rather than a creative role, I get to shine the spotlight on what they're doing. So issue 23, where Shadows Lie. If you're not on beta, it's on beta. Has everybody seen some of what we are doing? Okay, so not a huge surprise, but I'll talk about it anyway. So for you incarnates, we have a new incarnate slot, the hybrid slot. This is basically will boost your core abilities, or if you've got some kind of weaknesses, you can kind of shore them up a little bit. So either make the good stuff better, or make the not quite so good better than what it was. We also have our incarnate trial, Magisterium. Now, the great thing about this particular incarnate trial is it's kind of, thank you. It's kind of like the whole content of Praetoria has come full circle. This is where you started when you began your Praetorian character. And you left those resistance tunnels, you walk out, and this is where you end up. And this is the Magisterium. It is the hub of government of Praetoria. This is where Cole and all his praetors reside for all their meetings. So it just kind of made sense that the bow on the package of Praetoria ends here. So what you end up doing is going up against Emperor Cole and trying to remove his access to the Well of the Fury so that you can take him down and his little cronies. And oh my goodness, apparently if you're successful, chaos reigns. So I actually want to give a little bit of a shout out to Mr. Jeff Arbiter Hawk Hamilton, because this is what he worked on, and he's right over there. So if you also want to find out a little bit more about the hybrid slot, he's your guy on that one too. Okay? So here's some screenshots from the Magisterium trial, which looks pretty awesome. Look how huge that tyrant is. Take him down. All right. So not to be content with just an incarnate, trial, and hybrid slot, we're going to give you some free costumes for you VIPs. This is leather armor and the chainmail armor. Both of these were the set dressing for the under armor of the new villain group that we were introducing with Night Ward called the Black Knights. And so this is what they wear underneath. And we're making that available for free to you guys. Now, the tunnel system. Yeah. Gosh. You know, here at Paragon, we never like to let an acronym potential go by, so Matt is the one that named this. Do you actually remember?
The Trans-Universal Networking Nexus Extra-Dimensional Link.
Yeah, see? That's what we like to do. So basically what we wanted to do, we recognize that it could be a little bit tricky getting back and forth from Pretoria and Paragon City. So what we wanted to do was give heroes and villains access a lot easier. So we've actually placed some portals, and that portal right there is in Alice Park, near a monorail station so that you as heroes and villains can travel back and forth much easier. So that's our tunnel system. And to talk a little bit more about Night Ward, our very own John Protean, Hegner. Oh, but before I go on, I want to also mention, there's not a slide for it, but we have our next signature story series coming up soon. It's called Pandora's Box, and Ryan Green, who's standing right over there, worked on it. So I'm sorry we don't have a slide for it, but it is coming with issue 23 too. First art.
Does this work? Yes. Closer. All right. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing today? Excellent. So, Night Ward. Night Ward is a continuation of the story in Pretoria. It takes where First Ward left off with Katie Douglas trapped in the Seer network. Sorceress Serene has been defeated, and
spoiler!
The very... you haven't played it by now, come on. The very simple task of releasing Katie Douglas from the Seer network carries you into the mystical realm of Night Ward, which is a overlap between the world of the living and the dead. Here we see Penelope Yen taking on a denizen of Night Ward, the Shadow Hunter. So, the story of Night Ward. Night Ward was created as the cosmos was basically trying to figure out what to do with the apparitions. They are neither living nor dead, and so Night Ward was created around them. In Night Ward, everything is sort of a reverse of what you saw in First Ward, where you had shadowed paths, you have lighted paths. You are seeing into a happy, sunny, enjoyable part of life, but everything around it is the dismal, boring, depressing death of the netherworld.
So it's four gods.
Yes.
With floating lanterns.
Yes, we wanted to have Night Ward be a much more mystical and magical place than, say, Dark Astoria, because it still has a death theme to it. And we went with the idea that magical spirit lanterns carry souls over into the netherworld and such. But in Night Ward, because it's this area that's sort of between the two worlds, they're trapped there, and so are the souls that they've carried. So they do not know how to get to where they need to go, and they just sort of wander aimlessly. And so do ideas. It's not just the souls. Ideas and thoughts and dreams kind of get trapped in this place as well. And the Night Ward was actually discovered by the Midnighters long before anybody else, and in order to escape Tyrant and his witch hunters, they took their entire Midnight Mansion and translocated it into the place, figuring they would be safe there. They also constructed a mystical hedge maze around it in order to confuse any denizens of Night Ward from being able to make their way in there. And that is actually the main hub that you start in Night Ward. So, some of the enemies that you're being kept safe from are the Animus Arcana. Night Ward is a paradox of ideas, so things that should not have life do have life in Night Ward. Spells have life in Night Ward, and they act on their own. We also have the Drudges, who are the actual denizens of the Netherworld, and their task in all of creation is basically to dig up the souls of the dead and take them to the next world that they belong to, whether that's happy fun time or eternal suffering. That's all dependent on your actions in the world of living. They have their own police force that makes sure that evil necromancers and such don't steal the souls that rightfully belong to them. Their task of carrying souls to the next world gives them wax, which is what they need in order to continue existing. So they have this whole like payout system. We also have the Black Knights, who have come to Night Ward in pursuit of a particularly evil soul, we will find out more about in the Incarnate Trial. And they have also kind of been trapped here as well as Night Ward has continued to grow. And they govern over a place called the Eternal Prison, which holds evil souls that are so wicked that they can't be held anywhere else. The Talons of Vengeance have also come to Night Ward in search of fresh recruits, dead or living. And their villainy is one of the crowning jewels at the end of Night Ward. Some of the contacts that are leading you through Night Ward include Katie Douglas, who you get to pull out of the SEER network, although it is not as easy as just flipping a switch. But it also ranges from Mistress Marie of the Carnival of Light all the way up to such characters as Rogue Black Knights, Living Spells.
So what's the sound Whispering Coyote makes?
Yeah, what sound does he make?
So I looked up the sound that a coyote makes written down, and it is ki-yi-yi, but if you've actually ever heard a coyote speak, I will try it. If you want to cover your ears, that's okay. That's the sound. So one thing that Matt wanted me to point out is there is a pronunciation that Dr. Ann McCann has for one of the contacts up here. Sean, would you like to... Where's Sean at? I'm not here. He doesn't have a microphone over there. Okay, so I'll do my best to pronounce it as he does. I believe it's Montag? Montag, yes. It is Montague, but we have debates over that quite often. And, with that being said, I'll give it off to Matt Positron Miller.
All right. Is this on? All right. So you guys want to know coming out soon, and so I'm here to tell you about some of the great stuff we have coming out this summer, later this year, maybe even next year, depending on how things go. A lot of stuff you're going to see. I maybe have gotten the screenshots like less than 48 hours ago, so it's that fresh. So.
Actually, Matt, can I interrupt really quickly?
Yeah.
So I want you guys to be sure to act surprised at all of this. Are we clear? Because otherwise, something awful might happen.
Something awful is going to happen to you. All right, so I have some power sets I want to talk about. We don't have any effects for these yet, so I'm going to do the next best thing and use 1,000 words. All right, first up is Nature Affinity. It's for the archetypes listed there, and basically this has a bloom mechanic where you basically put stacks of bloom on your allies, and this will actually increase the amount of healing that you do on those characters. Next up, we have Bio Armor. This is a brand new defense set. We haven't done defense sets in quite some time, so we're very happy to do Bio Armor, and this has got a awesome damage absorption mechanic. I believe Ablative Carpus uses this in the set, and it's pretty cool. It's also probably broken in some way, so please test the crap out of it when it gets up on the beta.
Is that a new aura that comes with it? Is the crap aura?
Yeah! And Water Blast. Oft requested, we're finally getting into new. I trust you will all be professional about the colors you use. Or at least if you're not professional with that, just don't make a very inappropriate name to go with the color. Anyway, this will build tidal power with the attacks, with some of the attacks, and it'll spend the tidal power to do extra damage, extra effects, things like that. So, yeah. What else do we have? Oh, we have some upcoming market items. We're going to go into greater detail with these in the very next panel. First up is the amplifiers and more enhancement trays. You guys love enhancement trays. So we're going to give you the next two enhancement trays for purchase in the market. All right, and costumes. All right, so I'm going to couch this by saying this is very early. You're going to see a lot of concept art here. It's concept, and we're moving forward with it. The first costume set we're going to show you. Yay! So you're actually see concept art and some of the user screens we got literally this week of how much progress we've done. So you see the kind of gray boxing we do to get these in. We've got a cyber leg, cyber arm, a new duster coat that's going to be in the jackets category. So it will work with all the other sleeves and everything like that. So. Yes, I love that one. And we have some new tights coming. So this is just one example that we did some more exploration on in tights and patterns and textures. We like giving you guys options with which to use as a base to create awesome costumes. We don't always just want to give you a set and say, well, here's the set, and you don't use the set as the set. It doesn't work, but we want to give you awesome ideas and concepts, and this is just one idea that we're exploring. WIP, for those who don't know, means work in progress, not final. And we have a new annual event coming. So this is our summer blockbuster double feature. So we tried to come up with an idea for what event can happen in the summertime that makes sense in a modern day setting. We didn't want something like 4th of July is very specific to the United States, but everybody goes to the movies. And now you can be in the movies in the City of Heroes. So we have two movies, Time Gladiator.
I'm not sure everybody heard you. I thought you said we were going to have a new annual event. Does anybody want a new annual event? Because, okay. You're not only getting sort of one new annual event, you're getting a two-parter.
A two-parter, yes.
New annual event. So
double feature.
Carry on.
Yes, absolutely. A double feature of Time Gladiator and Casino Heist. Two movies that you actually get to participate in. So we actually built a brand new lobby that takes place in, our theater lobby. And one of the costume contest winners inspired us to have a concession stand worker. And you're also probably wondering why we had that movie poster contest, because we wanted to put something in the game. Well, obviously, we're going to put them somewhere. And you're going to see for the first time ever which posters we chose to actually put into the game. There's 3 here, or 4 here. We have Death from Bologna. The Hero 1 movie, which I'm excited to see. My user Dave, as well as The Guard, which I'm buying advance tickets for because I love Vanguard. So we've also got these 3. The My Little Unicorn movie, a movie about Brass Monday and Ascension. Fantastic.
A huge round of applause for all the contestants.
It was very hard actually picking the winners for this because there were so many great entries. So let's talk a little bit about the casino heist, or as I like to call this one, Ocean's 4. You and your 3 companions will each take on a different role that you're going to perform in the casino heist. Either the hitter, the hacker, the thief, or the grifter. Yes, the grifter. I just played the grifter in the last playtest. And you're going to actually go through and you're going to start off, which you've all chosen your role, in the warehouse with all the money you've just stolen. Right? And you're like, oh yeah, this is going to be easy. We've already done this. But then we're going to flash back 1 hour earlier and have you actually perform the heist. So here's the brand new casino we made. This is Tyrant's Palace. It's somewhere in mythical Pretoria. And this is Ted Dubois, the chief of security, and if you're the thief, you're going to have to actually steal things out of his office while the grifter is downstairs distracting his assistant through a dialogue tree and trying to pull one over on her. And meanwhile, the hitter's out there destroying the generators that are powering the laser fields that the thief's going to need to get through eventually. And the hacker is installing an outdated OS that has the wrong daylight savings times in it, so it confuses the time code locks for the safe. Some more shots of our casino. And then this is that laser grid I was talking about. That I think Melissa tripped every one of these in the last play test.
Ouch.
And for those of you who actually played my D&D game last night, you're going to find this eerily familiar. This is Time Gladiator, where we take and thrust you into a gladiatorial combat versus denizens from across time itself. We have a brand new, gorgeous Coliseum map set in the area. And this is Cornutus, the Minotaur, and his two handmaidens, Claudia and Camilla. This is the Emperor himself, who's overseeing the whole thing. This is Frank 100-Yard McCain from the Wild West. And his three dogs, Butch, Lee, and Petey. And between the stages, we actually have some levity entertainment stuff. There's a whole bunch of ninjas in one intermission, and then you have a bunch of monkeys here, Rickety monkeys. If you kill enough of them, you're going to actually earn, for you and your entire team, the Ninja Monkey Badge, which I know you all are going to actively seek out. And then this here is Armageddon and Apocalypse, our two mecha robots. We've actually changed their costumes recently, which is why the big WIP is on here. It's too recent to actually even get in this presentation. And then this is Gotterdammerung, the final boss. Or is it the final boss? If you do well enough during the event, and you get the crowd to really enjoy the show that you've put on and gain enough favor, you actually get to fight the God Champion himself in his white armor. All right, so without any further ado, we are now going to go, and I'm going to hand this over to Andy.
Outstanding. By the way, Matt, I have a conference call from a George Clooney and Russell Crowe for you. Want to take that later? Okay, just making sure. You'll get to him later.
Hey, just before we move on, Andy, I want to give props to Cord Carney, who's in the back of the room here. He's the one that did the design work on that. And Addison, I know Addison's here. She and Dave and Nathan all environment for this. And Dave was here as well.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. So we're going to start the Q&A session. Remember, we are going to have to keep this pretty quickly. We're running about 15 minutes behind, so we're going to run this until 15 after. And then we'll start the Paragon Market panel. So shift your schedule by 15 minutes, everybody, just so you know. Okay? It is cutting in the after party. That's all right.
And I made a promise that we would actually be on time and hit the after party, so come on, let's do that.
Okay. Alrighty then. So we're going to go ahead and start taking some questions. So if you'd like to ask a question, please raise your hand. The staff will spread out and hand the mics to folks. If you are in the Ustream channel, please put a capital Q with a colon next to it and ask your question. And we can cover anything that was covered within the Q&A, the keynote today. And we will do our absolute best to answer those questions. So, without further ado, we have a first question. If you can please state your name and your server, and we'll get going.
Daniel Smith, Virtue. Trying to find out, we're at level 35 now for Praetoria. And we're wrapping up the Incarnate storyline, but is there any real plan to extend that so that you could play a Praetorian up to 50 in the area if you wanted to?
John, you want to take that?
So we had tried to put a bow on Pretoria. It's not to say that we won't eventually return to it, but a lot of the feedback that we've gotten is that the majority of players want us to return to Primal Earth and continue the storylines there. So Pretoria is at the very least on hold for right now, but we did want to tie the bow on it with the Tyrant fight. So
there'll be something in 24, but it's not directly.
Yeah, we're probably not going to do a full issue just on Pretoria anytime soon.
And if you do us a favor, guys, keep your hands up if you want to ask a question. Hand the mic back to the Paragon staff after you are done with it, and we'll pass it along. Do we have another question?
Run, don't run.
There's a lot of chords there.
Just one chord in the back.
Okay, go right ahead.
Tatterdemalion Liberty. The absorption mechanic, how does that work?
Phil.
Phil, you want to come on up here?
Phil, go.
Right there.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here, you can just use his mic there. There you go.
Phil can describe that in greater detail than I could.
So the absorption mechanic is basically, it absorbs damage, so it's like temporary hit points. So instead of actually you having your hit point bar decrease, you'll have a white overlay over your health, and that decreases, and once that's gone, then you start taking damage.
All right, and to take a question from Ustream, if you can take the mic back to Jesse. Do you have one yet?
Give me a minute.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll do another question there in a second then. So, another question from the I almost said angry mob. From the audience. Yeah.
So, Smuffville Justice, if you're tying a bow around Pretoria, are you going to integrate the Praetorian missions into Ouroboros? At one time, there was sort of hints that there would be a Praetorian Oro badge and some stuff there.
So, First Ward and Night Ward content is definitely going in. The original Going Rogue content for Pretoria is a little trickier on the back end for us to get in there, just in the way that it was built. We have been looking at it, but no promises right now.
Phasing contexts make Mender Silos sad.
Okay, Headstreak, are you ready?
Yeah, just, sorry.
Can you give the mic to him, please?
You can yell it out and I'll say it again. Or not.
Or you just make Keatsy run.
Actually, this is one that I've seen a few times on the boards as well, is asymmetrical shoulder armor. Any questions? Or just the question is just when will we be seeing asymmetrical shoulder armor?
Mecca.
Naka has some.
Mecca has some.
Raise your hands, guys.
Fabulous. She volunteered for that job. Could have been Ryan Green.
She was drafted.
Arbiter Fabulous from Virtue here. Thank you.
You got a golf clap, man.
I know, it's I've noticed with the tunnel system that it's generally run by Praetorians, like the Carnival of Life doing it. Are there any plans on letting Praetorians actually utilize it, because it does help to get to Night Ward and First Ward and stuff better, and possibly allow them so that those of us who have level 50 Praetorians can get to Dark Astoria maybe and do more incarnate content?
If you have left Pretoria already and come back, then yes. But if you have not yet left Pretoria, you cannot use that system. That's just another one of the back-end mechanics.
All right, guys, so we're having a little bit of a logistical issue with running the mic all over the room, and I think Tunnel Rat might actually pass out from all the... So let's go ahead and let's have you guys all line up next to Arbiter Hawk over there to ask your question. We'll put the mic over there.
And let's hear it for Keatsy.
So I'm actually going to read a question that I'm seeing from YouTube while folks are lining up there. Short to Care is asking, when are we going to get a cat vanity pet, like a kitty cat? I think.
Yeah, Ross, when?
Stay tuned.
I called out Ross for not being a cat person in many meetings.
Sam Reichel, Justice and Maroon Worlds. Where's the I-23 trailer? The I-23 trailer?
Trailer,
video, advertising stuff.
Marketing.
That's a marketing.
Where
question.
is it? So you're saying you haven't seen it yet, and where is it?
She wants to see one.
Yes.
She does not want to make one. I think that's what she's actually
You didn't do
saying.
it already?
No.
What?
Why not?
Paycheck.
Well, I think, you know, typically we release the main trailer upon launch, so I think you're going to have to stay tuned on this one.
Which was actually kind of the second part of my question of, is there a reason why you don't release them earlier to kind of build up the enthusiasm instead of waiting until the day of launch and going, this is what we've got for you now, instead of having everyone foaming at the mouth going, take my money?
Foaming in the mouth doesn't do anything because they can't actually give us the money yet.
You know, over the years we've done. You probably noticed that over the years, from issue to issue, we haven't really stuck to just one exact formula. Sometimes we do that, sometimes we don't. Recently, we've been having, you know, like big launch trailers upon launch and not earlier. But a lot of times we have, you know, smaller individual trailers. You focused on just specific features. We don't have. We're pretty flexible about, you know, how we go about it. So, you know, we're certainly welcome. You know, welcome all input from you guys on what you guys like to see. And so, you know, happy to have any conversations.
Cool.
Thank you. You're on Infinity and elsewhere. Pandora's Box. Why not release the signature arcs beta before they go live?
Oh, they will be.
It will be now?
Yes.
Okay.
Now that we've gotten the big secret stuff out of the way. There's still some reveals in Pandora's Box, but they will all be on beta before they are released.
I believe the first episode hits beta next week.
We're still working on getting it in there. We had some tricky stuff with the Placeman store, but we're on it like right now.
So some issues with the Placeman store, but they're working on it, so very soon.
I believe it will hit beta soon.
TM.
It's TM. Oh wait, no, this is actually more like imminently. I have to review the scale again, sorry guys. Next question?
Admiral XP with on Protector. I was just wondering, since you got a lot of stuff that has cooldowns now, where you can't get an award anymore, or if you run it again, that time frame, you can't get the award, if you could make a UI window that shows the countdown until you can get that award again.
Why are you raising your hand, Nate?
Is he giving
me a J?
Oh. So that's an excellent idea. There are a lot of cooldowns now, so having a UI that can cover them all is a good idea. And I think I know exactly where I'll put it, and Rob will have to come yell at me later. So.
Thank you. And guys, please, when you're talking into the mic, make sure that you speak loudly and clearly so the folks online can hear you.
Texas Justice from the Justice Server. When we were here last, I asked about if you would consider revisiting the idea of vanity pets, of keeping, maybe have one vanity pet and a combat pet at the same time. You said you would consider looking at that. Have you looked at what the numbers are?
I believe we have, but I don't know what they are offhand. I don't remember who was, I think Tim was looking at that. Weren't you, Tim? No, he was like hiding under his chair. No. Sorry, I dropped the ball on that one. Don't have the exact information for you.
Do we have a question? Do we have a question from Ustream?
Yeah. So if people want information on more base content.
So the question was.
Wait, that was not the keynote.
Would you like to make a comment regarding base content?
So we are adding stuff slowly and surely to bases, but at a pace that we're comfortable with. Right now, bases they're a big beast and they break really easily, so we have to add stuff in that's not going to break stuff for everyone. And you know, Andy pulled me over to his computer the other day and showed me something and said, "Can we do something about this?" And it's possible that yes, you know, some quality of life improvements will come to bases fairly soon. Not in 23 though.
Thank you.
Hi, Leafnine from Virtue. No. Leafnine on the artboards, Plum Samurai from Virtue. I know we've gotten a lot of incarnate stuff and a lot of special story arcs. Are we ever going to get some more mid-level task forces, like a warrior task force or something like that.
I'd love to do a Warriors task force.
Please do it. It's become my new favorite task force.
The warrior did it. The warrior did it.
I just need War Witch to point the gun at me and tell me to do it.
Do it.
And that's what we call passing the buck. Thank you for your question. We have another one?
Yeah, hi, I was wondering, as pads and...
Could you speak into the microphone, please?
Okay. As pads become more powerful, I was wondering if there was any plans of City of Heroes porting to Android?
I think I just saw several progress heads explode.
Wow.
Android?
Yeah, Rob Vanderberg, welcome to the team.
Yes.
Should we let Rob answer that one?
I mean, we'd be talking in like a 3-year time.
Hey, yeah, let's have Rob answer that one.
Hey, Rob, why don't you come on up here and answer that question for us, Mr.
Come on,
Rob.
Let's go, Rob.
A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. No.
Thank you, Rob. Way to stick out your neck.
Thank you, Rob. If you would like a more... If you guys would like a more, if you would like a more in-depth and detailed explanation, cocktail hour is from 6:30 to 7:30, so I'm sure that you can corner him then.
Try him at 8.
Oh, it's back by 15 minutes. Anyways, go ahead.
Alferida, Justice Server. I have a question just in regards to setting. When you go through Pretoria as a villain and you exit as a villain, there are people waiting for you to help talk to you and so forth. When you go through as a hero, it's empty. There's no scientist. There's nobody hiding under a table. It's an empty warehouse. And you sort of, where the heck is everyone? They were so interested in me going through here, and it's like, okay, now they'll pump in the gas. Even the door is not really evident in how you exit the place. It's just an empty space. Shouldn't you at least have one person say, over there?
Where was this in the keynote?
You mentioned Pretoria, so...
Well played, well played.
Good feedback. We'll take that into account.
And Polyanimatronic from, I'm sorry, Kingmaker. Polyanimatronic.
I may look like Polly. Actually, right now, I am representing Keldar from Guardian. So if my beard doesn't look quite right, it's because I don't have one. And he is wondering, why is Stefan Richter dead in every single universe except Primal? Like, where is he? What is he chillaxing in Pretoria, waiting to show up?
He's too evil to die.
He's not chillaxing in Pretoria. He's a interesting character, and he's interesting enough just the one of him. So, you know, having to write several different Stefan Richters, I think would make my mind explode. I don't know about John's. Yeah. We have enough statesmen out there, so.
Yeah.
Well, we've got one now.
Thank you. Boring.
Well, he's dead, so you got your wish, sir.
Ouch, too soon. Thank you. Do we have, we have time for one last question, actually, so go right ahead.
I'll try to make a good one. Varder for multiple servers. With all of the new content being introduced, new power sets, new costumes, new villain types, new maps, is there a timeline to look at migrating some of this into Architect, into AE? Because right now it seems to be lagging significantly behind our issue releases.
It's a producer question.
How's that box feel?
It's not been a priority on our schedule in the short term. So, I mean, we have tried to add the new map sets and villain groups to it, but in terms of, are you asking about features or just getting content in there?
Just content itself,
Okay.
so that the players can make use of all these wonderful new assets into their own designs within the architect and engineering.
Okay. Well, we're definitely always adding maps. So we're adding new unique maps, either in Pretoria or other in like Primal Earth, and it'll end up in Architect at some point. As for the Praetorian stories, John's kind of already addressed that issue.
Actually, the power sets.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, so one of the things that we've tried to do, and we failed recently, is lagging stuff behind by one issue. So if it goes in issue 20, it'll be in Mission Architect in 21. Because we don't want you to just go to Mission Architect and see everything that we did as soon as the issue comes out. So that's sort of a cadence we're trying to get back onto and keep. So with the stuff introduced in 23 should be Mission Architect in 24. So.
Paragon also did a bunch of the villain groups that we didn't have in there.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of them in there in 23.
In 23, yeah.
Okay.
And new power sets are generally going in 24.
There we go. So new power sets in MA in 24, new villain groups in 23. Anything else? Okay.
Yeah, you heard it from Andy. You're on the hooks.
Yeah.
That's fine. I can take a couple of slings and arrows. It'll be fine. All right, guys. Well, we are actually over by 2 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to break for about 13 minutes. So everybody be back in this room at 11:30, and we'll get started with the Paragon Market panel. So be sure to bring your questions and your ideas about the Paragon Market. Thanks, guys.